So the Department of Justice has released that they ended up stopping a terrorist attack at the UFC Freedom 250.
An update to our top story. The FBI announcing it stopped a plot to attack the White House UFC event. The Secret Service spoke about this at an unrelated event.
This is still an active, ongoing investigation. Just because we're done with Freedom 250 or that particular event doesn't mean we're going to stop. There are still suspects at large, and we're going to work it until everyone's been identified. I'd say it was unique due to the numbers involved, the level of planning involved. It was an active plot, yes, involving purported claim to be plan to use drones, snipers, etc. We've seen a significant increase in threat cases. We're up 40% this year in threat cases.
We are getting to an age that's crazy to think about. Using drones in a terrorist attack? I mean, we figured it would come eventually, but geez, let's keep going though.
David Spun is live in Washington. New images just unsealed. David, what did you find?
Well, Kaylee, this is a story that deals with many different suspects in many different states. And we are learning, looking through these documents, that a mother in Ohio had the courage to call authorities on her 19-year-old, and she expressed some concern, and she may have blown this entire case open. His name is 19-year-old Tyson Proper, and he was picked up after she called authorities on June 10th, just a few days ago. This was 4 days before the UFC fight. We want to show some images. The first image, I believe, that we're going to show is a rifle that belonged to her son, according to authorities. The other is a screen grab, several screen grabs showing aerial images and maps of the Washington, D.C. area and discussing where snipers possibly would be related to the White House. This is all evidence that is posted on an official court docket right now, an official government document. But I will say 19-year-old Tyson Proper's mother called police after she was concerned about his purchases and communications with people online. It then led them to conversations that he allegedly had with someone named Brian Roa and Michael Thomas in Southern California. They appeared yesterday before a federal judge. We're also told that there is a suspect in Nebraska and one in Missouri as well. So what we're being told here, Kaylee and everyone on the couch, is that this alleged plot consisted of a plan to have drones that were actually armed with some type of firepower go and attack buildings around the White House. And once people left, they were going to have snipers nearby attacking some of the people leaving. This was a serious plot. The FBI, the Secret Service investigating this right now. And as you heard the deputy director of the Secret Service right there say that they believe there are more people out there. Right now, though, 5 people facing these charges. And it's incredible to go through these documents and see what happened. But it appears that it was this 19-year-old's mother in Ohio who really spilled the beans on this entire case by letting people know that she had some concerns about her son, Kaylee.
That is what I'm talking about. They were planning something crazy. So the initial attack wasn't even the main thing. They was waiting for people to run away in fear so they could pick people off. Yeah, the mother did the right thing. She was noticing that her son was acting different, noticing that he made some weird purchases and just who he was talking to online, and she made the right thing and went to the authorities. A lot of parents would be scared about putting their child into harm's way or scared that they're doing the wrong thing by telling the police on them. No, sometimes you can't control your children, which we can talk about that later. But if it's too much, call the authorities before they hurt somebody. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let's keep going.
Thank goodness that mom did that. And that 19-year-old is the one I mentioned who was alleged to use his graduation money to purchase these weapons. Wow, David, thank you for this update.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Paul, I want to pull up that image. So that is one of the weapons But it's jarring when you look at these aerial photos.
Yeah.
It looks like an aerial photo of the White House ellipse, and they are plotting where to put snipers with these photos and where drones should be launched as well.
Yeah, so I would make a couple of quick points. Number one, this mother is a hero. She saved lives. It sounds like, look, we had cases like this where we would go talk to the parents and literally say to them, you have a 17-year-old that's going down a very, very bad path here, and you'd rely on the parents to try to get out in front of it, and sometimes it doesn't work. The kid turns 18, and then you have to arrest him because he's trying to go overseas to fight with ISIS. Secondly, this is going to be the overt acts that they're going to lean on, and there's going to be more. What do I mean? You got a conspiracy. For a conspiracy, you need an overt act to show that it was active. Their defense is going to be, we were just talking, we were just expressing our dissatisfaction and frustration. No, when you have the meeting of the minds for a plot like this, and then you take, that's the operative term, an overt act, then you got enough to charge with probable cause. Surveillance photos, things like that, overt act.
Emily, and let me just read a little bit more about this 19-year-old Tyson, Proper. Allegedly spent the $3,000 I mentioned of his graduation money to purchase lots of ammunition, guns, extra magazines, and other things for the alleged attack. He had quit his job to meet up with people he had met online to conduct missions and recons. And his mom's phone call stopped this.
Indeed, missions and recon. I mean, this guy was radical. He's like, I also note that in his interview with the FBI, he immediately gave up the two names in California. Those are the men, 24-year-old and a 31-year-old that we were talking about, Roa and Michael Allen Thomas, that according to our brain room here, that individual had a prior for unlawful carrying in December 2014 in El Paso County. The same report suggests he may have served time in state prison. And the other one was a security guard whose license expired in April. So these guys had access to weapons unlawfully that had been expired. But the whole point is they were known to law enforcement for various things. And this guy in Ohio thought he was going to go play Rambo.
And
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let's go over to the next video. We got the gist of this one. Let's do one more.
Leading the way with breaking news.
Investigators calling it a violent plot targeting the White House UFC event. And one of those arrested is a 19-year-old from right here in Ohio. Thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Ashley Kirkland.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Palello. Tonight, WLWT investigates breaking down the allegations and the warning signs raised by his own family. Our WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson is in Knox County. That's about 60 miles east of Columbus, where that suspect lives. And Karen, what have you found?
Yeah, hey, Cherie, there's a lot here, so I'm going to break it all down. The man who is at the center, or has been identified as being at the center of this case, has been identified as 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio. This town is about 1,000 people, so very small town. Tonight, though, Proper is in the Franklin County Jail, charged with several federal crimes, including conspiracy and attempted murder of an employee of the United States.
Is it just me? I know I'm not going to stop it too much, but are kids looking older now? 19? This man looks at least 35. Let's keep going.
I want to go back to last Wednesday. That's when this investigation began here in Knox County after Proper's mother called police to report concerns about her son's recent conduct, including firearm purchases and communications with people he met online. His father, who I actually spoke with briefly today outside their house, told investigators his son had spent about $3,000 in graduation money on camping gear, food, ballistic plates, firearms, magazines, and ammunition. His parents told authorities Proper was preparing to leave last weekend to meet the people he had been chatting with online. Then, after obtaining his cell phone, federal investigators say they found chats laying out detailed plans for an attack in Washington, D.C., including maps, possible sniper locations, launch points, and escape routes. The complaint states Proper admitted he and others discussed attacking during the White House UFC event this past Sunday. The plan, according to investigators, was to use drones to explosive devices to force crowds to evacuate, then position shooters near an evacuation point to open fire.
This is still an active, ongoing investigation. Just because we're done with Freedom 250 or that particular event doesn't mean we're going to stop. There are still suspects at large, and we're going to work it until everyone's been identified.
And just minutes ago, we did get an update from the Department of Justice confirming so far 5 people have been arrested from several different states in connection to this alleged plot. We also know, going through court documents, that Proper was talking to at least 20 other people online. But again, investigators say this is an ongoing investigation. Reporting live in Knox County, Ohio, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
Karen, I want to go back a little bit. What did Proper's father have to say when you were at their house today, and what was that interaction rather like?
Yeah, you know, Sheree, I can tell you when we pulled up to the house, he did greet me at the front of the house. He was very calm, very polite, just telling me, you know, I'm sorry, but at this moment, we don't have any public statement. He said he was going to be speaking with his son later today and wanted to uncover a few more details before the family speaks publicly.
Now, here's a question. Who is responsible for these, ultimately responsible for young kids radicalizing? Is it something that the parents should be held responsible for? Is it something that we can't blame on the parents, but it's mostly just their environment? Like the internet chats that they get into? Ultimately, I think it has to be the parents who have to at least control what they're looking at to some extent. I know it's hard, but we got to do something, because, or I mean, some people might say that it's only the wild ones who will do something like this. But let's get over into the AI breakdown, y'all, just to wrap everything up and see what else we can learn. So as we talked about, the FBI thwarted a coordinated mass terror plot targeting the UFC Freedom 250 event held at the White House South Lawn. The planned attack was stopped cold before the event took place on Sunday, June 14th, involving using explosive-laden drones and rooftop snipers. At least 5 suspects are in custody, and federal law enforcement have identified 23 individuals linked to the conspiracy. According to the FBI court affidavit, an anti-government extremist group known as the Vanguard of Old orchestrated the plot. Their plan consisted of a multi-phase mass casualty attack. So the group planned to detonate explosive rigged drones on the north side of the arena or near surrounding buildings. The explosions were designated to trigger a mass panic, forcing the crowds to evacuate into a specific direction. Pre-positioned snipers with long guns were waiting to open fire on fleeing crowd, specifically targeting high-value individuals, including politicians and wealthy donors. Conspirators also discussed a second wave to actively storm the White House gate. The FBI uncovered the plot on June 10, 2026, based on the 19-year-old's Tyson contacted the local police, the mother of Tyson, saying that he spent all his $3,000 on tactical gear. So the 3 people who were arrested, we got Tyson, 19, arrested in Ohio. We got Abraham, arrested in Nebraska. And then we got Brian and Michael, both arrested in California, charged with conspiracy. And then we got Abraham, he's the key ringleader. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Let's get some more information before we switch topics on the, what they're called. Where is it at? Vanguard of Old. See if they have any more details on Vanguard of Old, because I've never heard about that. So the unsealed court affidavit revealed that Vanguard of Old, also referred to in the documents as Vanguard of the Old Republic or Vanguard of the Old Guard, is an online extremist network that operates through a decentralized, multi-tiered structure. The group was formed around March 2026 to orchestrate violence aimed at tearing down the U.S. government. March of 2026. The group functioned as an informal, decentralized network that uses mainstream social media to funnel and radicalize recruits before moving to operations communications. The TikTok funnel. So the group initially formed as a public TikTok group under the name Vanguard of Old. Ringleader used the platform to post anti-government rhetoric and screen potential recruits. Once individuals were thoroughly vetted on TikTok, they were invited to migrate to the encrypted messaging app Signal. The FBI monitored a primary operational signal chat consisting of approximately 19 to 23 active members. The main hub split into smaller sub-chat groups of 4 to 5 users organized strictly by geographical location and tactical role. So the ideology. The group subscribes to a far-right accelerationist ideology. The belief that the modern society cannot be saved and must be violently destroyed to jumpstart a revolution. Their specific grievances blend traditional anti-government extremism and the niche conspiracy theories. Absolutely crazy. Talked about the Epstein's files. The group expressed deep frustration over government corruption and official handling of the Epstein investigation, believing that the compromised individuals were actively running the country. And then we got targeting of pro-Israel officials. The group target list specifically include wealthy donors and politicians tied to American Israel public affairs committees. Absolutely crazy, y'all. The world is a crazy place. But did y'all hear that part? They said that they started with TikTok. They started using TikTok to screen for the people who they could radicalize, or the teens and young people they could radicalize. Social media is a great thing, and sometimes, and then also it can be the worst. So crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. The world is a truly crazy place, y'all. And we got to find some way to navigate.